Now, speaking of guys who learn from mistakes, learn from actions, and who are also known to be somewhat of a diva, your former teammate, Stefon Diggs. And he had his homecoming in Buffalo. And what did he say? I took it personal in that game. 10 catches, 146 yards. Most importantly, got the dub. But prior to that game, all last season, when he played for Houston, Diggs was known for this picture. Him staring down Josh Allen out of the corner of his eye, and it went viral. I mean, everybody's like, oh, they don't get along. Their relationship ain't good, blah, 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 blah. So, Cole, when you see a picture like that before kickoff, what do you think?
Bro, it's so easy to take one instant, 1 second, one picture that they just caught and just put 1,000 narratives behind it and make it mean whatever you wanted to make it mean. I never just look at a picture and take that for what everybody's saying it to me, man. Like I want to know what the moment entailed. I want to know the player's perspective from both sides. Like I can't really just look at a picture and say he got any type of animosity towards another man. You
Yeah.
know?
I just thought he was locked in. Like when I saw the picture, it looked like I'm trying to kill y'all today. Like that's what I
Yeah.
looked at the picture. Like I didn't see I hate this guy. He did me wrong. I hate Buffalo. Like a lot of people were making it out to be. I just saw a competitor. I mean, we know Stefon Diggs to be a fiery competitor, just like he was before that game in Buffalo, where he told the guys, offense go be us and defense and special teams. If they ain't got a blue jersey, hit them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like giving that pregame speech. So I saw that. I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was cool. You know, it just shows that personality, that mode that you got to get into when you're going to go play an NFL game. But with that being said, Stefon Diggs was asked about that post game. So let's take a listen to see what he had to say.
That's my dog. Like, obviously, things happen, the business happens, but spent a lot of time here. I got a lot of love and respect for that young man. He's a tremendous player. He's one of the boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, things happen, and I'm not here no more, but I consider myself a real one. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to, you know, if I'm not on your team no more, we're not cool no more. We built a special bond. You know what I'm saying? That was my guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to switch up or act like I didn't have a lot of love and respect for that young man. So when I see him, I try to give him that reminder. Like even last year, they had that picture, right, of me side-eyed, but they just kind of caught it at the wrong time. And I always wanted to speak on that photo because I was staring at him in a moment because it was like, damn, like, that was my brother. You know what I'm saying? Even if we won in Houston, but like that's my brother, and like you know, I do got a lot of love and respect for him. It kind of looked like a little side out, but that's not what it was. I was staring at him for a second when he was walking here, like, damn, that was my guy.
That was his guy. That was his brother. You heard it from him. He said he was just looking at him like, damn, that was my guy. So I'm with him. I'm with you on that. Media took that photo and they spun it. But it ain't just media. It's social media, Cole. There's a lot of social media journalists, like I tell you every week. And those are some of the people creating these narratives that we have to come on here and address. Like, it's not the Adam Schefters, Tom Pelisseros reporting this. Like, there's a feud between Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs. Like, it's social media people.
Yeah, but if you take it to First Take and you look at some of these round table talk
That's
sports shows,
entertainers, bro.
they're coming with
Entertainers.
some of these same takes, bro. They have the most viewership out of everybody. So when they are the ones talking about it, it's so easy to spread some of this stuff along with social media. Along with social media.
You know where I stand on that topic, dog. You know, right? They're
Yeah.
entertainers, Cole. They get 2 hours of television 5 days a week, every day of the week, all weeks in the year. You got to come up with some content. Like you fishing for content sometimes. So take First Take with a grain of salt, as I say all the time. They are entertainers. They are not journalists. And we often get, as journalists, true local journalists, beat writers, sports anchors, reporters, MMJs, columnists, we get lumped together with the network media all the time. And we could talk about that any given day. But you know how I feel about that. Like they are their own entity. Like they are there to perform. There are certain journalists, analysts up there that give you real ball knowledge. And then there are people who are entertainers who want to give you quotes from movies and give you quotes from songs. And like Ryan Clark, you know, said earlier today before the Monday Night Football game, if Stefon Diggs is Cardi B, then the Buffalo Bills are Nicki Minaj. It's like we're just doing this for headlines here. You know what I'm saying? Like we just doing this for headlines at this point, like pure entertainers. You know what I'm saying? So time and a place. And so I just think sometimes when you listen to some of these people and some of these takes, you got to understand where they're coming from. And it's because they got a 12-minute block that they need to fill, and they got to say whatever they need to say for 12 minutes because they got to make sure it's captivating to their audience at home.
Look, Amar, y'all got to go on TV and do the same thing. Y'all got to make sure this stuff is captivating to y'all audiences as well.
No. It's a big difference in local TV. I don't go up there
Does
and be like,
viewership not matter?
yo, absolutely. Viewership
Rating?
matters, but no, not as like, it's like, let me break it down.
Break it down.
Back in the day, ratings meant everything for local television. Everything. Like if you didn't win your ratings, you don't get sales, you don't get advertisements, etc. You go look at local TV ratings all across the United States. They are down. They are plummeting. You are now pivoting to digital. You're now pivoting to streaming. Like you're doing all these other types of things where we're not just entertainers. Like we still are going there and being an analyst and talking about what we saw. Like there's a big difference. There was a big debate going on social media about the MLB playoffs and how you get 162 games of local broadcasters that know this team in and out, cover them every single day, the ups and downs, the young players on their way up, blah, 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 blah. And then they get to the playoffs, and then you hear these reporters, these analysts, and play-by-play announcers that barely know anything about this team. They only know the big headlines that came from this team and the 2 days of research that they did on this team. It's the same with network analysts. Like, so network analysts, like, think about it. I only say Ryan Clark and all them in First Take, Stephen A. Smith, because like you said, they're the number one viewed like show, sports talk show, and like forever. Like they've been that way. But my thing is, how many times have you seen those guys come up to one of your practices? Like in your 10-year NFL career, how many times have you seen them at a practice, at a walkthrough, like the day after a game, talking to y'all, or in a locker room after a game? You rarely see that. So my thing is like a lot of those guys are just talking because they have to talk. Like, and when you watch so many games, like what is it, like 15 games a week in the NFL, something like that? You can't talk on every single team and every scenario in full depth. Like you have to, but you can't possibly know everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Compared to the local people who are talking about like, look, you know, Jordan Addison, for example, got suspended in the first half. All right. So we're talking about, hey, this is Jordan Addison's, third incident since he's been here. He needs to get his, get his stuff together. Like this is a guy who, when he goes to go get paid, the first thing they're going to bring up is, hey, well, you had a speeding ticket going 100 your rookie season. Then you got arrested or detained for falling asleep behind the wheel, in Los Angeles. Then you skip a walkthrough for whatever reason, and you get suspended in the first quarter. So those are things we're talking about compared to, I ain't out here saying no Cardi B references and Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. Like, I'm not trying to hit you with punchlines to make you remember me. I'm trying to hit you with facts and what I saw. And as one of my mentors told me, Mike Bush, shout out to him at KSCK in St. Louis. I think he's been there for like 40 years, but he used to always tell us, when you go on this TV, don't tell people at home what they already saw. Don't get on the highlights. Don't just say the basics. Tell me what people can't see. Tell me what's going on in the locker room. Tell me what the mood was like with this player when he did this and how he talked to his teammates after the game. That's what you're there to report on as a local journalist. And I think if you follow local journalists, you get way more in-depth stories than you do from network reporters and analysts who just give you cookie cutter answers and the base layer stuff. This is what I urge everybody right now. Instead of waking up and turning on your TV and watching First Take, or looking on your social media feed and looking at takes from First Take, go follow The Athletic. Subscribe to The Athletic. Follow their beat writers. They are phenomenal writers. These guys are at every practice. They're at every game. They're at ever're walkthrough that we're allowed to be at. They're at off-season meetings, NFL owners meetings. Like, they are everywhere consistently, and they get the scoops. They break news before sometimes the Schefters and Pelisseros and things like that. Like, these are the guys who are so plugged in, even more than TV members, because they are beat writers. Beat writers are assigned to a team. That's their team. That's their beat. They only report on that. That's the one thing they do for 365 days a year. Whereas us in TV, kind of like I said with network, like, we got to cover this pro team, that pro team, this pro team. Like, we're not at everything, but we're at 75% of stuff. So we can speak on it knowledgeably. But, when it comes to these network guys, sometimes they don't even come to the primetime games. Like Monday Night Football in Minnesota, you haven't seen like the Ryan Clarks, the Laura Rutledge, the Mina Kimes, the Dan Orlovskis, the Marcus Spears. You haven't seen them in Minnesota for a Monday night game when they do have Monday night games. And so I just think they're in a different class. They are respected by their peers. Obviously, they're entertainers, but I think it's levels to it. I think they're at the top of the game in entertainment and television. But when you really want some ball knowledge and what's going on with your team, you got to follow beat writers or local reporters.
Yeah, man. And look, I just want to touch one more time on Stefon and just the leaps and bounds he seems to have made, bro. He was extremely reflective in that game, before the game, in his pre-game interview, and after the game in his post-game interview. And all throughout the game seemed to have been on his leadership game to the highest percent. And I just think that, you know, sometimes when you go through some things in this league, like the injury that he went through last year, it's a little humbling, man. And you get time to sit back and reflect. And the way that he bounced back and the way that he's leading his team right now, his 11th year in the league, and really showing that some of these diva narratives that were out about him are definitely not true. He's just working through everything and being a leader, and I got to commend him for that.
Yeah, shout out to Diggs. What he's doing, hell of a player. Back-to-back 100-yard games. I feel bad because I dropped him in fantasy football because of his start to the season. Now I'm kind of regretting that. Terrible GM season for me. I told you, bro, I just ain't been locked in. Got a lot going on with this podcast, work, the kiddo. I'm just not focused. I had to tell. I'm the commissioner in one league, and I had to tell him, like, look, I ain't on it this year, y'all. Like, I'm down bad right now, but